Are buyers starting to see the financial sting of the increase in home prices? Are we seeing 2007 issues again? We are getting into that and what is happening in the Orlando market real time, so stay tuned. Hi there, what is up? I'm Kathy Williams, your friend in real estate here in Orlando. And one quick thing I wanted to bring up right away is that I switched brokerages and I am with an exciting new brokerage.
Congratulations!
I know. It's nationwide. It's a nationwide brokerage called Compass. Compass has an amazing technology platform, and they are only choosing the best of the best agents in real estate to be Compass agents. So, in other words, nothing against a new agent or anything like that, but you can't be a new agent or an inexperienced agent to be a Compass agent. You have to have a certain volume of production just to be able to join. So I'm very excited to be a part of this brokerage, and I'm just looking forward to what it's going to do to help my clients. But that's not what we're talking about today. Today, we are talking about the Orlando housing market in the Orlando area. And I was just reading a Fortune magazine article about the housing market. And they stated that right now, the housing market in one way is as bad as it was in 2007, or it's similar to what it was like in 2007. So I'm going to get to that, but let's start with interest rates. Interest rates have gone up so much since December. It's crazy. In December, we were sitting at about 3.1% interest rate, and now we're looking in the upper fours to over 5%. And that was so quick. That creates a situation where home buyers' payments are going to be significantly higher for the same property. And at the same time, with prices increasing so much, they increased about 36% in the last 2 years. So this is a really quick jump in mortgage rates and in prices, and it just puts the home buyer in the worst position, according to this article, since 2007. So based on affordability, and it doesn't look like it's going to get much better. So I'm going to go over the stats for the greater Orlando area, and this is the Stellar MLS for the Orlando area, the March statistics, and to me it's very telling of what's happening and what's going to happen. As always, I will share some actual stories of transactions I've been working on. So in the Orlando area for March, we were down 29% over March 2021 with only 14,696 listings on the market for the Central Florida area. That was 29% down from March of 2021. I am seeing a possible sign that we may be having more inventory for the spring and summer because we were actually up 1% over March 2021 and up 20% over February of this year, just from the previous month with new listings. So in March 2022, we had 21,691 listings, and in February, we had 18,044 listings. So that's good news. Although 1% is not a whole lot, we will take it. In pending sales for March, we had 24,635, which is up 15% from February, which was 21,498, and down 8% from 2021 in March. So kind of a split there. And then as far as solds for March, we had 27% more solds than February of this year, but we're down 12% from March 2021. All that tells me is that we are selling them as quick as they come on the market, which is what I'm seeing. If it's a nice home, and by nice I mean clean and taken care of, and it doesn't even have to be updated or new this or new that. It just has to be nice and clean and well taken care of and priced right. Then it's going to be gone in 2 to 3 days max. In my neighborhood in Baldwin Park, just recently, 2 homes sold that were well over $1 million, and they were gone in 2 days. My buyer put an offer in, we didn't get it, and the winning offer on one of the homes was, the home was about $1.2 million, and it sold for $150,000 over asking price, and that was all cash. The other one, it was right at $1 million for the listing price, and it sold for $115,000 over asking. That was financing. So here's the thing. Both were gone in a matter of 2 to 3 days. Under contract. So basically we're selling them as quick as we get them, which speaks to the next item on the stats list, the average day on the market. So this is just the average days that a house is on the market before it gets a contract. In March, we were at 19 days. So less days on the market than in February of this year, 14% less days, and 54% less days in March of 2021. We were sitting at 41 days on the market back in March last year. So that is is a huge shift, and that is telling us that every single thing that comes on the market gets sold in a very short amount of time. So that means you have to jump quickly. When you're looking, you see something you like, you just got to jump on it. If you don't get your offer in within the first couple days, it will be gone. I can attest that my most recent listing in Baldwin Park, we had multiple offers within 2 days, and we had an executed contract within 4 days. Well over asking price.
Wow.
And that's the other thing. You almost always have to come in over asking price. It's not just a little either. I mean, and it's never just asking price. That's crazy. The only time you come in at asking price or maybe possibly under is if it's been sitting on the market for at least 3 weeks or longer, which, as you can see in this market, is extremely rare. Now, of course, because the prices have gone up, we all have seen that around Orlando, and the total sales volume for March was actually 8.2 billion, which in March of 2021 was 7.8 billion. But as you can see, we sold way less homes than in March of 2021, 12% less. So that's all because of the increase in home prices, which the next data line here is the average sales price. So you can see we have gone up 19% since March of 2021. In March of 2021, the average price home in Orlando was $358,739, and now the average sales price of a home in Orlando is $425,183, and that's 1 year later. Remember, this is average. I'm seeing a lot of homes that have gone up a good 100,000. Almost every home has gone up about 100,000 in the past year, so it's pretty crazy. I do want to point out also one very small detail, but also very important detail, that from February of this year to March of this year, prices went up an additional 3%. In 1 month. So this is telling us that prices are not in any way going down. They're not stalling. I know that's what you want me to say, but they're not leveling out. They're still increasing. To have a 3% increase in just 1 month is pretty telling. And I expect to see that same thing over April, May, June, and July as well, because that's when all the families who have kids are moving, because they want to move before the school season starts, the next year starts. So we always have a lot of additional buyers during those months, and that means there's going to be more competition, increased bidding wars, and all of that over the summer. And please hit the like button, because it will not increase the number of homes on the market, but YouTube shares my video more the more likes I get, and it might help someone who needs to hear this info. Thank you. So the last tab here is inventory levels, and I don't know if the MLS can't show less than a month of inventory, but we have way less than a month of inventory. Look at this other chart. We have less than a month of inventory, but I think the minimum that they can show is a month. But if you look at this chart, the supply and demand chart, you will see that we have well under a month of inventory. I showed you early on the chart, the average day on the market is 19 days. And that gives you an indicator of how many days or weeks of inventory we have. So the average is 19. And I would say that we have about 19 days of inventory on the market. But I get it. They have to show a minimum of a month for that infographic. If you see this supply and demand chart here for the Orlando area, you see that March 2022, we have less than a month of inventory. It looks like about 19 days. Basically, that is saying that if all the houses that are on the market right now sold within the next 19 days and no new homes came on the market, we would literally have no homes for sale.
Oh my God.
I don't think that's going to happen, but I was recently working with a cash buyer, and we got our offer we got it in on the very first day over asking price, and we did win. However, they took a few days, and they did try to get us to come up significantly because they got a lot of other offers, but my buyer didn't come up any higher, maybe a couple thousand, because we were already well over asking price. And so we did get that one under contract. And also recently another financing buyer, again, we went significantly over asking, and we got the offer accepted. So it's not a matter of being cash, but you always have to go over asking on every offer, especially if the house is super nice. You have to come over asking in this market. I'm so sorry. The numbers don't lie. My real world actual experience does not lie, and we can see by these graphs and charts that the market is continuing to go up. And I know that is going to especially hurt first-time home buyers, because if the rates keep going up, it's really going to change what they can actually afford in this market. And so it's just going to be challenging. Now, a lot of the buyers who are move-up buyers, if they have a lot of equity in their home, which they should in this market, market. If they sell their home, they're going to have a lot of cash to be able to put down on their next home. So yes, the interest rates are still going to affect them and they're still going to be high, but if they're putting a lot down on the home, that might help them to be able to continue on their path of moving up in the next home. Also, according to this article, kind of backing up to the article, the percentage of income for first-time home buyers, because of this increase in interest rates, it's going to push it up to 29% of household income for your mortgage, which has not been that high again since 2007. And so those are the types of things that are concerning for affordability, especially first-time home buyers. However, it doesn't really put us into a place of going into a crash, according to this article, and I agree wholeheartedly with that, because new construction is still way behind. They're so far behind in getting homes built. And if they could pick up the pace, then it would really help ease the situation. But there's still some supply chain issues, especially with windows right now, some garage door issues. And again, there's still a little bit of lumber shortage. But the likelihood of a crash is so slim. It's really slim to none, according to that article and according to me, because there's just not enough inventory. And it always goes back to supply and demand. And as long as there's low supply and high demand, prices are just not going to go down. And as long as people are still buying and inventory is low, then we're just going to keep in this perpetual cycle. The thing that I've heard some economists say is that perhaps the housing market was undervalued to begin with. And I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. I think it might have been undervalued, or rather, instead of that, maybe we just have had such a supply and demand issue in the past 5 years that it's growing into this increasing difficult problem. We have lots of millennials that are looking to buy now. They want to get into the housing market, and there's a lot of them. And so I think the market's going to continue this way. So that's all I've got for you today. Please like and subscribe if you found this helpful. Thank you so much for joining me today. Stay tuned for my next video, and I'll see you over there. Bye-bye now.